open this one with flying colors, Harry.
Keep it cool, baby boy. You can use this. Groove with this. Play along. Let him throw his weight around. And when he throws it too much, and you've got him off guard.
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and...
You want to send someone a message that the police are working...
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore... Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A loud, blabbering weasel. When we just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a... Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez. Of course, Harry, I understand. But if that's the case, perhaps this was just bad timing.
Yes, we both understand what you...
This may be the only way, he thinks. I won't hold it against you. In fact, we probably should reconsider later.
I don't know. You know what?
He sincerely has no idea what you were talking about. And
My dear Harry, there are... Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource.
smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Interesting. Perhaps I should. I guess I'll have to do that mission in the end.
You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now.
Need to on normal save. Now let's talk to this guy again.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to...
Fine.
A fantastic change of heart, Harry.
And just like that, it's happening. The roller coaster...
Just open one little door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just... See you soon.
After I exit this place, I'm also going to talk with him, just to hear what he has to say about this. By the way, how do I exit? My guy seems to be stuck. Wait, what? Am I trapped? Come on. I always manage to just break the games. I do not know how I do it. Oh no, not again. Guess I'll talk to him.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always.
How do I exit this place? Okay, I guess I'll try using this quick save. Just see if I can move around. Can I exit this place now? No, I cannot. How? Why am I stuck? My brain simply cannot comprehend how I managed to get stuck and why I cannot go back. What is happening? Come on, dude. God damn it. Yeah, well, I guess this is how I'll end the stream, with me getting stuck here. And I really do not understand. Let me just reload this one. Just to see if I can get into this building and out of it. So this is the building, right? Okay. Went inside. Now can I turn back? I can. So if I go up. Oh, okay, there are some steps to this side. Of course there are. There we go. Okay, we're good, we're good. So dude, can you unlock it? I guess not.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened. You attempt to your left. The lieutenant considers your actions.
Okay, so now I guess I got some sort of a key. Because last time I couldn't go this way. Okay, that guy looks like someone that I definitely don't want to mess with. Can I go down?
Scab? A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Beats me. Gotta be bloody stupid, or freaking evil to Scab. Or I guess, personally, I'd rather beg than Scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, we'd explain the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reason.
Come on, just go down. There you go. Leave them to their protesting.
Old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island. A silver plaque on. As you look up, you notice something about the statue. Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass. Around where someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Okay, I can see it, but well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. Display. Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't.
The king stands high above you. An old monument stands in the mid. Well, he blew through his own maladministration, foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber. He called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese. But wait, You haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have. Some years ago, the statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time. Neither do people in Martinez. Philip III, the squanderer, however.
Ooh, a white tank top. Let's see, physical. This gives me -1 to suggestion. So conceptualization, interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with drama. Since this shirt doesn't reduce any of my abilities, I think it's a better choice. Oof, I'm back at the beginning, finally. Got a little bit lost, to be honest. But now we are good. I also want to go back inside to ask about the key. I think I'm going to play for 10 or 15 more minutes, and after that, I would say that's enough. For me at least. Wait, there's another guy. Okay. Wait.
Real mature, man. What exactly?
Damn, your feet thought we got away.
You know what? The stupid drinks you've had are on the house. You know why? Because I know you can't pay for them. Now, I still have to charge you for 3 nights and the broken window. That's 100 square. Don't thank me yet. You still owe me 100 real. If you don't have it by... Now, what the hell did you want? I assume you wanted something to come back here. Mine? No, it...
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you...
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why.
I thought as much.
Well, yes.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Prod at him and find out.
Callous? What are you?
Krasmazov, nom de guerre, was an economist and a historical materialist. He was a leading figure on the Grad side of the Centennial Revolution. He killed himself.
Ah.
No one was implying you were, officer.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case.
Just bring them back once you're done, please. What thing? Yes, not the...
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later.
You glance at the clock on the wall behind the manager. Huh.
Good question.
They're probably getting drunk or protesting. They probably fucking killed that guy.
I have a feeling we'll make their acquaintance sooner.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Another thing. Yes? Yes. Have you got it? A lot. For the room and broken window? Like what?
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? Why did you say that?
No. But it's a saying. Up on Marvel Hill. A great...
That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money. You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time.
No, I didn't want to do that. Did by mistake.
You see a heavy steel door.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen.
The winch. Outside. In the backyard.
Well, if there was a winch, I suppose we could look in. Hardly. Anyway, Gart is the person to ask about this.
The old kobold. The door does not budge.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. Oh, yes, that door. Sure. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. Or some boring storage space with a bunch.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Fine, okay. A little. But my job doesn't so I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though. After... Yes?
A thin man is smoking. As you step in, he nods. It must be his name. Garanci. Garanci Quebec. Sounds represent. The man puts his cup down and replies something. The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then
Horse need more vodka?
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy.
Of course, vodka. Now turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg. The cook gives you a long he looks up at you. Then, shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what. He smiles and bangs his ladle.
So what I want to do is to open this trash can and after that take that body off because it's about time, I think.
This trash container, with a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. Just the feeling. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
You see milk, and you've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows. No, searching. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic among the threadbare kitchen towels. Something catches your eye as the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage. Are these the victim's clothes? The smell is not nearly as bad as the cadaver. These clothes could not have been in contact.
Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they will drop them in here, officer. Yes, I think the clothes were taken off to get to that armor he wore. Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty. Or empty. He wore them with a belt, too. The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there?
Something slimy catches. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored.
This is a military type overgarment. No label or serial number.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety weight.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or not really.
The fuck's he on about, kids?
See?
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into... You pick out a broken mug with an only in its social... It's just... Oh, what's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. Something larger. A clipboard. Not just any man's. This dense curse...
Officer, is that your paperwork? Yes, it is. Look. This plastic has the... If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? Officer, this is an official...
Easier said than done. How could this pathetic cabbage of copy paper and plastic ever become très disco?
It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are...
The container sounds a muffled gong.
There we go.
That's one thing off the list.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making it so cool. From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit. What are you, deaf? They're perfect, like rock star politician. Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Bayi, badass on the edge disco cop.
Yeah.
Time to yeah, you know. Beneath it is just heartbreak. With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you. And you alone.
Yeah.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. There's a piece of toilet paper. Or is it? It's a metaphor. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can, if you want it to be kitchen tissue. It's not though. It's toilet paper.
Perception.
Still wet, the toilet paper, I mean kitchen tissue, sorry, peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do, an aluminium block runs. The surface is interrupted by a silvery stick. Looks like an official mark, made to be low visibility.
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it... It depends. Aside from any capable light with the right way, all RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Got
Okay.
it.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag, they're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages for work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate. It's the middle of March. You have attempted to... What do you mean? Is that all? The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover.
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
Arson, petty theft, spousal abuse, handwritten logs on dozens of investigations. It's inornate, pedagogical somehow, brash. It must be yours for you to be able to read it. Your hand cramps up merely looking at the scribbles drawn as by some magnet. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each, yes, all caps. One is called the Next World mural. Another, the Square Bullet. Others appear more light-hearted. The guy's on a couch in an unexpected location, and it's going to take an effort to piece these cases.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, it's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death, I pray his loved ones never. Rail spiked through the head. He died.
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It will do, barely. The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. He is not really saying anything.
Know that I give this to you with resentment.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand. Interview the cafeteria manager. A satisfying slash. You're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry. Things to be done and things already done. The composition.
No, actually. Any ideas?
Shit on a stick. Setting sun, the hanged man. Yeah.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The hanged man. I'm going to start calling it the hanged man. It's good we sorted this out.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the acidic, you know, like the bits they put. Remember when I said the smell of the upstairs bathroom was so rank they should have sent a poet to describe? Why, yes it is. Among many other things. This cleaning tablet is used by the whirling in rags. Perhaps that's where the ledger was dropped in the...
Oh, let me... Okay, continue and this... Let's go back and
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabinet. It's proving to be harder than expected. You just don't have... It's the ledger you found in the trash.
Come on.
Yes,
There
you
we
can
go.
piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41. Why, yes, your precinct number is 41. Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. Harry Dubois, HDB. This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight, the mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes. True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the belles lettres have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists. The case files do not show you. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
Okay, so a mural regarding what? Man and woman, true love is possible only in the next one for new people. It's too late for us. Yeah, remove it.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority. And that love truly is possible in the next world for new people. And it is too late for us. Did anyone ask you what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done? This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. The mural is in true love. The graffito crew is easy. The crew agrees. The 9,000 people, a staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority. And that love truly is possible. No one cares what you believe in, man. AKA Leslie and Burke. Leslie, the only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because you would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in? Locking them up, it's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then he must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also in the process. The ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news, can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe
Holy
he flashes his
shit.
genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop, which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair. That's all you got. From the half hour you've spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound. Who knows? Those pages are missing. What? Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it. Yes, as you said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. They were leaving it out in cigarette butts. No, you didn't have time for that. Murder. Tum tum tum. Beaten to death by Joseph Mills didn't get off the pot. No. Okay. So the case is handed to you no, it's soot and water vapor. Yeah. So anyway, no one and Mills hasn't. See? You can't even read the thing. Yeah. Smoking hookah. Didn't you? Not much has changed in the meanwhile.
Shit, let's take him down.
The corpse, you seem to. A cargo belt twists his neck at
Active.
He's about to blow. Cock's gonna blow.
the smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and too late. Until a pool of vomit, the smell of Commodore Red rises from the pool.
Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear if you can handle the headache. That young woman, the gardener, mentioned if she doesn't have any.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the white check. Modify.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. You should take care of that, then. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping.
Also, is the gardener over here? Yeah.
Hello again, officer. How are things? Sure. I'm done with go easy on that stuff. I'm a Nighthawk. What? Excuse me? Oh. Well, I don't know anything.
Pig is a widely used.
No need to worry, we are not saying you did.
Okay.
Now, I want to turn this on because to turn the lights on.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out.
Alright, ready?
The dashboard lights up. Like a leopard, the lights unfold.
There you go. I'll turn...
Thank you very much.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are a dozen. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the...
Let me see. Right here. No, it does not.
There are many of them, and they are... The first row has 18 dots. Not bad for what? The next is the longest. There are so many, it's hard. The last row. As you look at them, you feel your index finger reflexively contract 3 times. And something you'll do again before this is all over.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. The first row represents your years of service. 18, that's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth? No shame in work. This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed... Wow, more than 200! It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more...
You know the answer already. The tingle in your index finger gave it away.
That's right. How did you know? Ah, right. Sometimes the brain's able to preserve certain... For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in... There are certain officers who treat their kill, but it seems as though you are. Yes. Everyone has their own... Personally, I find it... Oh, this and that. Why not gardening?
The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your...
Okay, perhaps now we can finally take him off. And after this, call it a day. I definitely want to deal with him.
There he still is, looking.
And also, what are those kids still doing here? Don't know how to use it. I press on A, right? I press on A, but I press like... Okay, let's try this again.
There he still is, looking. The ammonia only makes it worse. The combination forced the second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
Nor does the wind right now. I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder. I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. Then drive to the station. I think I've lost my sense. Not being hungover helps too. No. This is a 2-man assignment because you need to get your shit together. We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now.
You've gained a thought.
Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back.
Okay, so I guess I cannot do anything.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. The trash collection service?
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. Thank you anyway.
Sylvie had the keys before I got here.
Sylvie,
and I can
got
vouch
it.
for her. Yes? Yes. Have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
I understand your predicament as the manager. I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation.
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more... I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment. Not until you bring me the money.
Okay, I might have something in my motor carriage we can use.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Also, I want to find my shoe. Got it. It's in the car, but... Oh, what's this? Back, dude. Go on, you can. What did you see the first time? Okay. Oh, there is that shoe. Okay, so I need to go up. So let me go to the car.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio.
I have something here we could say.
Transport enclosure. Regular people. The cage at the back of the motorcade.
I confiscated this for a little while. There are spinner hubcaps.
Honestly, that sounds like an amazing physics demonstration.
Yes, there's 100.
Items that can be pawned at Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory.
A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. I took them and arrested him for driving under the that they are. I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back. No, that would be silly. I don't know.
The spinners shine so bright, they The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners.
There we go.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? Yes.
So I first of all want to find a balcony, just get my other shoe. Oh, there we go.
There they both are. Two identical shoes, both copiously green, and it's pretty clear a normal cop. Good, they're balanced. Come.
Minus the silver there. So I need to find a pawn shop, or the pawn shop. Also, can I just get some sleep? Guess that's a no. Even though I doubt it, that's still going to be open. Still going to try and find it out. Oh, wait, what's that?
The worn and beaten wood.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Fair enough. Oh, there is something down there, okay.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilite. A thick layer of graffito covers the... Under the graffito, you know this to be the star of Perikinesis, or the kite. Around the large wooden building you see...
Nice.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Man, my guy can't open anything. We increased my skill that is related to picklocking stuff. Let's see if that changes anything. That is a no.
There must be another way into the building.
Okay, his voice was really loud. Don't know why, but it simply was.
A sturdy metal door. The door rattles. The door rattles again.
Stop banging on the door! The police? Everyone knows it. No. Go check the back.
Backyard door. There must.
Madame, I assure you, we are real.
There is no reply. A striking woman.
Good evening, officers. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. Baton, my maiden name. I meant you. Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded. I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel. There is strength there. If she wanted.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to...
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from a...
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant...
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation. What we do... The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian in Saint-Baptiste, LUM, an unknown...
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the
Okay.
$1 billion?
$20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines, they started as an exploration, and centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels you mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Why, yes I am. The boat? No. It is called Cordelati. No, it's a pleasure craft. My sloop?
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
Of course there are. We're on... Yes, we are. We are on Le Cap. We are. And the city of Revachol is on the... I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as... It's for crossing long...
Neither is this. Officer, I assure you...
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
Everything. Right up to, first, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. Why? By throwing off half a century of foreign domination under the Coalition. Unfortunately for you. But I am derailing us. You want... I believe the official title is Senior Lady...
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The Union stopped all negotiations.
Wait. She just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a... Yes, I believe there is a connection. But that's a subject for later. What can I say? Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I...
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare...
This isn't the first time the union has gone...
Heavens, no. There have been... Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Keep in mind, there are leaflets everywhere, and banners. Every worker, a member of the board. In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker. It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about, just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume... And now, people are getting lynched, I hear.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion.
This checks out.
The scabs? You mean...
Don't let her answer it herself.
If these strikebreakers were all...
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the... Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he...
If you were to prick it with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No. A rape.
Oh, heavens, no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you... He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen. And have you seen him? Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like him. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has... And your opinion, detective, if I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is... Indeed. And a hungry one. Sadly, while... I'm glad you asked. There was a woman...
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter...
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's downright haunting, if you ask me. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things...
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? Quite a few things. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets.
Oh, okay.
For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badges.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois. I'm afraid Harry...
Oh, and what happened to yours, Detective? I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please. Oh, dear. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine...
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional.
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't...
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Of course, the situation is extremely volatile. I'm afraid I can't. Of course, the situation is extreme. Of course.
Wow, you work hard. Oh, yes. You hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there. Oh, yeah. Like a horse. A workhorse. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum after you re-emerged. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. A little. You make money. You got guilt. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. Sure, sure. And are you rich? That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave and you're still practically... That's right. 100%. Fucking G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in you every time. 98% of all your money. What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples?
Well, I agree a little bit.
It's all about the tax issue, hustler. No other problem in the world is as pressing as top marginal tax rates.
Okay, now I want to increase my suggestion. Let me see if I have some clothes that can do this. Well, I guess that's a no. Yeah, so right now I also need to find... I need to find my badge. I also need to find the pawn shop in order to get some money so I can regain my room. Unfortunately, I do not really know where the pawn shop is. Oh, wait. When it's yellow, usually it's related to my perception. And it's related to a reward that I'm supposed to get. Actually, let me go this way. Well, since I have no way of... Oh, mistake. No way and nowhere to sleep. I guess I'm going to read the book that I just bought after I talk to this guy. Though I'm quite sure he is definitely not the pawn shop guy.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile. No response.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Why? I just told...
Okay, okay.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society in accord with the natural world and at the same time above it.
Okay.
Because Friesel was incompetent. To your disappointment, there aren't any no advertisements, you notice. After rifling the pages with your thumb, the magazine is divided into several sections. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going, perhaps they've overestimated them. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and internet,
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union.
you flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before. This section includes you also. Whoa. Bear, it seems to be part of a new public fitness according to this extremely credulous account. Based on the description in this article, he appears to be an extremely competent and Sapormat Sport Gelazinski is well into his third decade as president. It's quite straightforward. A standard match features one man. According to the SRV's Ministry of Information, the program has been a tremendous success. Public support stands at 87%, and youth obesity and alcoholism rates are down 12% and 7% respectively. That's very much the idea. President Kaczynski has long maintained that a strong body is the
Samaran People's Republic? They are quite the spectacle, as I understand, on account of the blood used.
You flip back to the front of the map. It takes a moment, but as you leaf through this, the main feature, though, is a long essay titled, This So-Called Artist Spotlight. The actual, if you don't follow it, you only ever hear about the loot. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000 where to even start. Oddly enough, this article, under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every play, thus, the so-called tourney becomes a competition, and that precisely is what's problematic. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're real. You see, one cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip-Top Tourney is simply the apotheosis.
Come on. Can this article read your mind? A certain kind of young man reads 1 or 2 books and suddenly thinks, if I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor.
You flip back to the front of the Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring You skim the headlines. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent. According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation. Judging from the context, you flip back to the front of the magazine. The greatest innocence. Browsing through the various chapters, you try your best to understand the ceaseless overflow. Your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh, that's the spirit. Here we go. Oh yeah, this is what I was made for. A pop quiz is a short examination designed to test your knowledge without any prior warning or announcement. Such exams allow the teacher to assess how thoroughly the students have retained the material at hand. Voila. Now thanks for nothing. Dolores Day. Dolores. Incorrect. Dolores Day was the innocence of humanism. Her colors are silver, white, and apricot. And steer clear of this one. There's something terrible about this one. A strange sensation of loss. when she left the Earth, the dust. Yes, the quiz is impersonal. No need to rouse sensations in yourself at the mention of Dolores Day. Who was the first innocence? It wasn't Dolores Day. Incorrect. Solar resigned after. Correct. Nothing much is known about him. As the first innocence, he declared that there should be more. His disciples were the beginning of the Holy Party. Question 2. Who was the strongest innocence? Easy. Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody. An innocence is the highest category of historical personage in the world, a literal personification of history. Traditionally, an innocence, when anointed, assumes supreme rule over the Occident, or the known, I can do better. Okay, so commonly, an innocence does not enforce his or her power through military power. This is seen as unnecessary. The innocence wins because an innocence can't help but win. For their deeds are inevitably damn. Dolores. Incorrect again. While she originated many, even though the words incorrect. Correct. Named the innocence of militarism. Franco Negro. Question 3. Got it under control. No problem. Solid on this one. Yes, there exists a group called the Founding Party, known as the Holy Party, during the time of the Pericarnacian. This, the world's oldest international organization, spends its time in search of either the re-emergence of the innocents or new members. There seems to be a mix-up with the sources. At least it clearly wasn't Dolores Day. She wouldn't be false. She's beautiful.
Come on, this time?
No, stop thinking it. I said it wasn't her. She was true. Incorrect. Incorrect. Kedra, correct.
Okay.
There have been a number of counter or false innocences. Some assumed to have innocentic qualities. Some who just thought so themselves. Occasionally, they have the support of a faction inside. The most famous and important of these was Ernau Pasternak. He was into torture, despotism, hymns, cannons, and world conquest. But got final stretch. You've come so far and learned so much.
Yeah, learned, I think.
This is the most
I
important
think you're
one.
stretching
Question
the truth
4.
a little bit, but
Who
fine.
was the greatest innocence? The most important of them all. I've got it, honest.
Okay.
Of course, this is my thing. The reason I zero doubts. Incorrect. While Franco Negro built concrete churches and cathedrals, and while many people, especially, oh yes, militarism and nationalism. Yes, obviously. Correct. The MESC might see Franco Negro as the father of nations, but as of this century, there's been a great shift in attitude to everything from inter-esolary travel to the connected world to 3 consecutive scientific revolutions can be traced back to her. Every decade that passes, she seems less human somehow. Congratulations on finishing the test. An F for You would have done better if you just left Dolores Day for the end.
What's going on with you?
Okay. You are shouting at an inanimate. Browsing through your educational survey it seems rather unfair to try again after you already know the answers. But sure, if this, oh yeah, this is what I was made for. Correct. As the first in a question, easy. Everybody knows. Correct. Franco, question 3. Got it under control. No problem. Correct. The most final. I've got it. Honest. Correct. Everything. Congratulations. An A. All. You really navigated some treacherous waters here. Well done. The lieutenant is doing. Yeah, sure. It's so much easier once you know.
Could I receive more experience if I would, you know, do it again? I think I'm going to do it again, see what I receive, and call it a day.
The greatest browsing your educational survey is. That's the. Oh, yeah. This is what I was made for. Correct. As the question. Easy. Everybody knows. Correct. Franco. Question. Got it under control. Correct. The most final. I've got it. Honest. Correct. Everything. Congratulate. An A. You really navigated some treacherous waters here.
Huh? Take what? Uh-huh.
You are really just talking to yourself. The greatest innocence. Browsing through your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh well. It's pop quiz, smarmy jerk. Bet you just got lucky that first time around. It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Oh boy. Here we go. What? But it was in the trash. What? It's just a but. It's just but. It will not happen. The mug talk is it. The worn map features your finger moves through finally coming.
For a more detailed view of the map,
Okay, this is a nice map. I'm going to have to admit. And there are also some of the things that I couldn't like do. Intriguing. South of the plaza, okay. nice.
A couple of indicator lights are missing. This panel usually closes the water lock. Pull the lever all the way up. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. A cold gust of... Spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on...
I hope this is the pawn shop. Yeah, it does look like a pawn shop.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt. Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you. Smells like worn cotton. Worn cotton with a side of...
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on. 2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
But why? I suppose that makes sense, yes. Please
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, I guess, dude.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
It was brought to me.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with.
Yes, of.
His manner is casual. The light pole has been carefully cut, and the boomboxes on the shelf look. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play
Ooh,
a
okay.
tape. Absolutely. I've tested each one. Is the Harman Welshie W2. Made in Vespa. Designed in...
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse?
Oh, that's the headless phone rider. There's been a lot of interest in that particular figurine.
He doesn't elaborate on these wrong head.
I've heard about it. I've heard the headless phone rider rides a...
Yes, there are several competing versions of the story. The headless phone rider. It's an urban legend. 50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations. Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
Big men on big...
Franco-Nigerian knight.
They're not all...
Which ones?
This set of soldiers...
You're probably talking about I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the rock, maybe. It's not off. What can I do for you? I haven't had any problems myself.
Who are your customers?
All kinds of people come through. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
He's well composed, but underneath it you sense psychedelic processes bubbling. Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues. A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature. I've had to take it, you know, since the People's Park.
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator. There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened. So much disappointment. No one's. A bunch of poor people. We were
on the patch.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. There wasn't much to volunteer the clean up, so I came to Martinez. I like the theory more than the story.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from Gone Forever.
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign prince?
No one was defrauded or jumped.
Of course. I meant no offense. 200 real for you, officer.
Thank you. Here's the 100 real you need for your bill.
Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps. You said you'd done it.
The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get...
Here you go, man. Of course. Someone else?
The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it? It's possible in these parts of town. We ought to find her and
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were under... And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts vote. My apologies, officer.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it, right?
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday. They went their way. It was a trip. But you know...
Wait, then it might be true. Everard's claims.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
Of course. I doubt it, but I do my best to keep...
The pawnbroker's gaze.
Sure thing. Sure, man.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? Well? Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your... I'll unlock the electronic lock to your room. All the doors lock automatically at 9 p.m. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else? God.
Oh, but he should be. Lay it on him. Life doesn't have a back button.
Wonderful.
It is.
What? What does that mean? Cock carousel? Huh?
Yeah, this feels right. It feels wise. Good setup. Now speak the real shit.
God, does it mean you talk to her?
What else do you need? He looks at you, spinning your...
She broke the bird, you know. The great skewer. I found it on the ground. I should have known. It was her way of telling me to piss off.
Or you broke the bird. It can also be... Yes! The bird is connected to this. It's a symbol of hope, and she broke it.
Huh. Cock carousel. I think I understand now. They ride the cock carousel until the clock runs out. Here, have the rest. Now, let me have a drink and think about this shit for a moment.
And there we have it. Isn't... This is the door to the...
Just a moment. We should talk about our
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum.
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically. Well, you were so hungover that you couldn't keep it down when we approached, but we performed a thorough search of the premises of the crime scene. That's great. It's not my job to evaluate your method. We conducted an interview with... He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information, however. Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief. Moving on. We talked to Joyce Messier, but didn't get any information from her. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. It's impressive, especially for... Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange. I have a cigarette every...
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
Yes. They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Ravachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fine. The RCM's primary role, yes, although indirectly. Officers of the RCM, we can arrest people, of course, but rather than bring... You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though. As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, we don't convict. We arrest a coalition, the RCM, or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens... Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this plague. They're a union of center-left. What do they believe in? Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not.
Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? The moral intern are a fact. I I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And do you? In fact, we would need them even if you didn't think that way. We are in what is called the twilight of international law. Sadly, it is what we already are to the people of
The dying lights of the city shimmer below.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different inland. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks. We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are. Me too. But I wouldn't count on any.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make...
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
To dodge punches, knives, and bullets. Sure. For now, I think this is okay.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place. It's too late. Like an image on your hands, however. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It belongs in the new, the third decade of the current century. Enough time had passed. Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne. Forget about ostentatious orchestrations. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open air, Boîte de Nuit, somewhere in Revachol West. Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would... The click is used to spur on a horse. It also... Sometimes you like to add fingerprints. There is a vast ocean of time between right now and... You have some understanding of the near history of disco, plus the trivia you've picked up along the way. Not really. OO must have just stirred your mind. They're more... It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne-corked smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return. The window stands broken. You see some lights.
Well, I guess that's it for tonight. So thank you for watching and have a nice evening. Bye bye.